everyone! In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make some bourbon pecan brownies. These are so moist and so boozy. I made these for my coworkers and they absolutely love them. These may not be for the kids in your life, but trust me, these are some of the best brownies that you will ever have. Now let's get on to the recipe. I hope you enjoy. The first thing that I did is I melted about 10 tablespoons of butter in a microwave-safe bowl. Make sure that you have a large bowl because this is really a one-bowl recipe and you want to make sure you'll have enough room to mix all your ingredients. So I just put this in my microwave in 30-second intervals for about a minute to a minute and a half. It really just depends on your microwave. After my butter was all the way melted, I then added in about a half cup of white sugar and a half cup of brown sugar. I made sure to add this in little by little so it doesn't get clumpy, but you just want to make sure that you have a half cup in total of white sugar and a half cup in total of brown sugar. Then I cracked in 2 eggs, adding them one at a time to my sugar and butter mixture before adding in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I used to use like fancy vanilla paste, but honestly for this recipe, vanilla extract just works just as fine, even if it's imitation like I used. Then it was time to add our whiskey. Now, I don't really know the difference between whiskey and bourbon. Someone please put that in the comments below. But I added in about 3 tablespoons of Jack Daniels. Honestly, I was only going to use 2, but I was told that I should add a little bit more. So that's what I did. And trust me, you do not need more than this, because this makes it boozy enough. I forgot to mention, but in another bowl on the side, I melted about 1 cup of dark chocolate chips, and I then added those melted dark chocolate chips into my batter before adding my flour. I just added about 3/4 of a cup of flour. This ensures that the brownies are still super duper moist, and to that I also added about 1/3 of a cup of cocoa powder. I just really poured it in, really eyeballing it, simply because I was running out of in the container that I was using, but it would probably be best to measure it out. I don't know. And then I added 3/4 of a cup of more dark chocolate chips, and I just folded them in, and then I transferred over to my pan. I made sure to line my pan with parchment paper. This just makes it easier to remove later, and then I just baked this at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. When you take them out of the oven, they won't be fully cooked, but don't worry, that's part of the next step that you need to work on, as they'll be going right back into the oven. After my brownies went into the oven, I started making my kind of like, the best way to describe it is somewhat like a pecan pie filling to go on top of my brownies. So I first started out by adding about 1/2 cup of sugar and adding in about a 1/2 cup of honey to a medium-sized pan. To that, I added about 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 tablespoon of bourbon. You can add a little bit more bourbon at this step, but I don't really think it's necessary because the brownies are boozy enough. In addition, you're going to want to add 2 eggs and whisk all of this together. I forgot to add eggs at this step, which was a really big mistake, so don't do that, as I had to redo this recipe, but the first part is correct. Then I put this pot over medium heat, and once it started to boil, I then removed it from heat, and then I added about 2 cups of pecan halves. You can also use pecan pieces. I just think pecan halves look a little bit more appealing. I then just stirred this all together and then added this mixture on top of my brownies that had been in the oven for about 20 minutes. After I spread the mixture all on top of the brownies, I then put the brownies back in the oven for about 15 to 20 more minutes until the pecan mixture was a little bit more solid, and then I removed them from my oven and let them cool a little bit before cutting. And this was the final product. As you can see, these brownies are super good looking, but more than they look good, they taste absolutely delicious. They have just enough booze in them that you really taste the bourbon, and they're super duper moist with the little amount of dry ingredients that we used in the batter. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a wonderful day no matter your situation or location. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye!